You're listening to ABC Radio WA.
13 to 5 and Coorow is a very small community with a big heart, about 260 kilometres north of Perth, just near Carnamah. Last year, a special heritage area called the Koobabbie Precinct was opened, and local teacher Shiona Herbert was very involved in it. As well as being a teacher, she's a member of the Coorow Heritage Group and the Carnamah Historical Society. The ABC's Natasha Harradine asked her about her role and learned much, much more about how closely the future of this little town is aligned with teaching at the school.
I was invited to actually put part of the site together and asked about how to make it a kid-friendly space so that with all those huge pieces of technology that they're not going to cause harm to any little interested, curious characters. So they got me involved doing hardcore labour and also thinking about the positioning of things to make it family, kid-friendly.
And how did that become the students at Coorow Primary School actually developing a trail project for the site?
Well, I asked the people creating the Koobabbie site when I was working there, I'd really love to bring this alive for young people. Would it be all right if the kids at the primary school here worked on creating a trail to guide people through the interesting artefacts here? It's just so they're a little more connected, a little more, they're understanding it rather than looking at it and go, oh, what's that? Oh, that's fun. Move on to the next thing. So to get them more engaged and more interested in what the artefacts were on display there.
Now, when we were talking earlier, you used this idea of positively dwelling in Coorow. What is that and where did that come from?
A couple of years ago, our students created a geocache trail to draw people to our town to spend time looking at interesting heritage sites around Coorow and our district. And we wanted people to positively dwell here, meaning spend a bit more time here. Perhaps if they've, spent more time than what they expected, they'd have to buy a bit of petrol, might have to buy a nice ice cream because it's a hot day. Oh, look, we've spent so much time here, we're going to have to stay at the hotel for the night. We were thinking about how to bring revenue into the community, and we shared that with the kids, how important that is. And so that's a concept we have with the Koobabbie Precinct as well. We wanted this trail to encourage people to stay longer on the precinct site, to positively dwell, to read the little interpretation panels, to look for all the items that are on the trail rather than just look at two things and go, oh, tick a box, seen it all, let's go. So to keep them there longer, keep them interested in the space, keep them engaged. Because when people have a wonderful time in a space, they become ambassadors of that space and they tell other people about it, and then that'll draw more people in. So it's this lovely positive cycle.
Why did you think it was important for the young people in this community, these primary school age children, to be engaged as ambassadors for their community?
We want our young people to understand that they can have a positive impact in and on their community, whatever age they are. So even if they don't drive a car, they can still help create a safe environment. Even if they don't have a history degree, they can still encourage people to be interested in history and heritage. So we just wanted them to always have this feeling of, you know what, I can make a difference. And so having that ownership of, okay, what would I think someone would find interesting who was coming here as a tourist? I would really love them to see the sheep trophy because that's so cool. So, and someone might find sheep super cool and that's made their day. So there's this opportunity for them to highlight things they find interesting and knowing that that will engage other people. And so that also creates a greater sense of feeling connected to their own community. If you're promoting your community, you are definitely connected to your community, and that's important to us here at our school.
Is that something that's come about as you look at that sort of bigger picture issue of people leaving the Wheatbelt, the farms getting bigger, the population's getting smaller, and it has that sort of cyclical effect?
Oh, absolutely. We definitely feel that in these little schools. Now that we don't have Year 7 students here anymore, we are finding the exodus a little trickier to deal with. So there's always, let's create opportunities to keep bringing people back or to make them want to stay here a bit longer. That's important. That's important.
Coorow Primary School teacher Shiona Herbert chatting with the ABC's Natasha Harradine. 8 to 5, this is Tracy McNeil in The Good Life.